Right, y'all. Welcome back to MELANIN ME podcast. I'm your host, Whitney, and
Mia.
We got Mia. Hope you guys remember us. It's been a while. Yes, but we are back. We had to meet, with you guys before the end of the year.
It's a great day. It's a great day. I feel really good. We wanted to come back in a different way than maybe what you all are used to. We know you all love the hot topics and our opinions on certain things, but we also want to start including some more really, really, really cool, interesting topics that we can't wait to unload and unleash for the new year. So I'm excited to be back.
Mia will be coming to LA. Can't wait to get you to LA. Get some things in the studio. Yeah, it's going to get official. Okay. So I just want to quickly talk about, right now you're in Nashville, right?
Yes.
Right, you're in Nashville. I know it's been really cold over there because the weather has been crazy everywhere. It's been like a cold freeze, and shoot, it was like 30 degrees in LA the other day.
No, it was everywhere. It hit us really bad. I mean, we went from being at 50 degrees to the news being like, turn your running water on. It's about to be -1 in the morning in 17 hours. And it's like, how does it go from 60, 50 degrees to -1 in a matter of 16 hours? Like, it was insane. People's pipes were busted, froze. We didn't have any impact at my house, but had a lot of friends that could not turn their water on. And we also had rolling blackouts. So typically what that means for people who don't know, and there's so much tension from the electrical outputs and all of that sort of stuff, they have to, do pockets of where they turn off your electricity for like 10 to 15 minutes in different zip codes. So that way it releases a lot of the pressure and the lines from, I don't know. I don't really know too much about it, but essentially that's what happened. We weren't impacted. Our lights were on the whole time, but everyone that I know, they were like, oh, we're without power for an hour. And then in the next hour, they were without power.
A lot of people. And thank God you guys didn't get any snow, did you? Or no?
We got snow. We got a lot of snow. Yeah, we got a lot of snow.
Well, what's a lot? What's a lot to you?
Well, I mean, if we're thinking like DC, if we're thinking like
Nashville,
then no. But like, we definitely got snow where the city shut down.
About a few inches.
About a few inches, maybe 3 inches, maybe not even that much, but it was like fully covered snow. Our biggest thing here in Nashville is ice, and probably everywhere else. But we don't in Nashville, because we don't get so much snow like that and cold weather. We're also not equipped with the equipment to make sure that the roads are clear and all that stuff. So we kind of have to wait until the trucks that we have clear certain areas.
As much notice as it seems some people knew about the storm, it's like the states and the cities, the mayors weren't equipped or they weren't ready for that level of, coldness. Because I think on top of the snow, it was the icy temperatures that really brought like the death toll and stuff up, because I think right now they said it's 57 people that have died in total from the winter storm, and most of that being like in Buffalo, New York. Unfortunately, the mayor of Buffalo really dropped the ball. They had no like emergency service vehicles that were like prepared, and Buffalo had 6 feet of snow and they had freezing temperatures. So 6 feet of snow, like social media was flooded with people like posting their doors, their vehicles. The snow was over their freaking doors. Like, you open the door, the snow was taller than them. They couldn't walk outside. Unfortunately, people died. One of the stories that went viral was of a 23-year-old nurse. So rest in peace to Andale Taylor. She was driving home from work during the storm, and she got stranded in her car on the side of the road. And she started to send her family, like her sister's, videos and stuff. She was like showing them that like the snow was piling up. She showed them like another car like down the road that was like stuck. And she had told them, she was like, look, I'm going to just try to get some sleep. And then in the morning, I'm going to try to walk to home. She was only 6 minutes from her house. 6 minutes. Unfortunately, they stopped hearing from her. She didn't answer her phone the next day. Her family was in North Carolina and she was in New York by herself. That story really hit home because they found her the next day dead in her car. And she just didn't make it through the night. And I'm not sure if she froze or if it was like carbon monoxide poisoning, because they said her car ran out of gas because she was running the heat. So, it's dangerous because when you have to run the heat and stuff in small spaces, it's a danger that you can get carbon monoxide poisoning. Unfortunately, she passed away. Other people did as well. They were found like frozen in their homes. Some people lost heat. You spoke of the rolling blackouts. They were doing that apparently in Buffalo, but they were only doing they were choosing the zip codes that were like wealthy and giving them longer power and never gave the other zip codes power. Like there's people on YouTube right now and TikTok and Twitter living in the hood in Buffalo. Their buildings is like falling apart. They have ice and water running through their roofs and stuff. And they said emergency has not come. The building maintenance has not come. These people don't have heat. They don't have water. And it's just like, it's so fucked up because in times like this, you think, oh, the government and emergency services, they're going to save me. They're going to help me. But sometimes you can only really depend on yourself, especially if you're Black or in like a neighborhood that's not wealthy. Like they're not coming to save you. They're really not, And they said that people were begging for basically Good Samaritans to come and help them on the internet because they were calling 911 in Buffalo and they were just putting them on waiting lists and never getting back to them. The mayor's under like a bunch of heat now. They just did like a press conference. They said they were so underprepared because of that. Plenty of people died that shouldn't have died because like I grew up in the snow. I grew up in Maryland and we've had snowstorms that were, 4 feet of snow, 5 feet of snow. Now the temperature didn't get that cold, but it's still like Maryland is so prepared that they start to salt the streets like the night before. They issue like a don't travel, like no school, no work date, like a day before. So it's like the fact that people were at work and they said that they told people an hour before the storm hit to get off the road. That's not enough time. Y'all knew the storm was coming. So everyone should have had an advisory to get off the road at least like 24 hours before to get to where they need to be. You know what I'm saying? It's so tragic. Like a bunch of people got stranded in a Target. And one of the girls on Twitter was like, they were waiting. The employees were kind of waiting for people to get released. And she said she saw that snow sticking and she left. And she said all her coworkers got stuck at the office and they were stuck there for like a day or two. So it was bad.
That is so sad. And I think a lot of this has a lot to do with global warming. Because there are places that have gotten super cold or gotten hit with things that they never have before, or, just all of these random, like one day it's -3 degrees and then tomorrow it's 70 and sunny. And then the next day it's a tornado warning. It's really scary. We're living in some really interesting, scary times.
Don't get me to, getting on my conspiracy theories because I feel like they're messing with this weather. They're messing with this weather, girl. I don't care what nobody say. Chemtrails, they've been experimenting.
Well, we just there have been a lot. This is probably for another show because we can go down a rabbit hole on this, but just with me having some level of ear to the street on like all of these technology, different robots and, electric and gas going away. I mean, it's like just all kind of stuff that's just being created. They're pushing this narrative that like, okay, electric cars is the new way. Like we're going to do away with all these other things, create our own energy, do all these things. But then on the other side of the coin, it's like, okay, well then, what's the other side of it? You know what I mean? They're pushing the narrative of all these positive things. But on the back end, you're like, what are they really doing? You know, because there's things that, you know what I mean? So all of that to say for me is just like this global warming. It's getting worse. We're in a really interesting time, and weather is one of the quickest indicators that we are in interesting times with everything, because there's just no way. I mean, I will walk out the house, I feel like some days with one side will be a tank top, the other will be like a long sleeve sweatshirt, just because I don't know. I walk outside, this is where we're at, but where will we end up by the end of the day? interesting. It's really freaking weird. I just want to go away to like far away, like island me out the country. But
Maldives me.
Maldives me. So yeah, no, that's really sad. And I'm prayers to all of those families that have been impacted from all over.
Yeah.
And are still dealing with some of that stuff that's happened. Well, I just really want to, because we haven't been on here in so long, there's so many topics to really unpack here. One of the topics of interest that was just everywhere, I can't say that the majority of us were shocked, but it still nonetheless was a juicy topic, was the Derrick Jaxn, right? Derrick Jaxn and his wife. Yeah. Yep. Not too long ago, I want to say maybe a year ago, Derrick Jaxn, he's known for being like a relationship. I would like to say he would consider himself a relationship coach.
I said specifically to women, like he targets single women.
That's his target audience. Recently, year ago, whatever, it came out. I didn't even know the man was married. There had been rumors that he was married, but he never posted his wife. We kind of always had to speculate. And then it also came out that he was cheating on his wife, right? With multiple women, right? It was multiple women. It wasn't just one. It was like several women. And people were saying that he got someone pregnant. I mean, it was a big mess. And his wife chose to stick beside him. But it was how she chose to stick beside him that really got the viewers going. Because it was almost like she was condemning the world for how we viewed her husband's hiccup. And she was like putting out things, basically trying to tell us, death to you all, right?
That she cursed everybody. She cursed everybody.
She's supposed to be a woman of faith, a lady of the cloth. And it just was very off-putting because I'm like, this is something that you probably should just be quiet on or maybe say your piece, but this is something you need to deal with in-house, right? Fast forward to a couple weeks ago, he was caught with another woman in Miami, I think it was. He was with another woman. It wasn't his wife. They verified. And then shortly after he was caught with another woman, rumors or a report came out saying that they were filing for divorce. Speculation could be, okay, well, since he was caught, let me hurry up and issue this. We're getting a divorce thing. So that way I'm not back in the media for the same stuff that I got caught up for not too long ago, right? That people are saying that could have been a possibility. But more importantly, I think for the wife, for her to like have been so outlandish to all of us, just for her husband to go back and embarrass her again, was really interesting. Two people who choose to be married for whatever the reason, there are things that happen in a marriage all day, every day. And what you choose to accept and deal with and work through, that is your business, whatever. I just am very careful about, if I were to be in that situation, putting other people down to defend whatever it is that I've got, because this is something that could happen again. And then I'm looking crazy because I'm trying to fight all of y'all instead of dealing with it with my man. And here comes the embarrassment again. So it's almost kind of like, well, then what was all of that for? Like, girl, if you're going to stick beside him, just stick beside him and do this. We don't need to know anything. I will say this from the beginning. I don't see how he was ever with her. I'm going to say that because she's a bit much.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to play devil's advocate for sure and be like, of course, when I seen the situation and I seen her demeanor on camera and how she was cursing everyone, and I mean, it made me uncomfortable. It was damn right demonic, where I had to pray. Like, I literally had to pray.
Demonic is a great word.
Holy Spirit. I had to surround myself with positivity after that because, she did curse everybody. And, she cursed everyone's kids and their wives, and she wished that people's husbands died. Anyone who ever spoke ill of her and her husband's relationship, that's what she wished on, everyone in the final days. Okay. But what I can say is they've been together for a long time. They have a lot of kids, and we don't know what has gotten her to this point. I don't want to be too harsh to judge her or her mental state because she's obviously been going through something and she doesn't seem stable to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't seem like she is in her right mind when she's, cursing everybody out. And even when she was up there with him in that bonnet and she was sticking beside him, and he was sticking beside her marriage, you know, when he got caught cheating. She didn't look completely all there. You know what I'm saying? It looked like she had checked out in some way. Now, I'm not saying that condones her behavior of like blaming everyone else for her failed marriage, but they've been together for like 9 or 10 years and she has kids. And I can definitely tell that Derek probably has changed. You know, he glowed up in front of everybody. He got millions of followers. He got a lot of money. He got fame. And that definitely wasn't who he was to start. You know, he was like a church guy, military guy, somebody very low key. So if you're in a relationship with somebody like that, they completely change on you. It's like, well, damn, you was like me. You were low key like me. You were plain Jane like me. You weren't about the glow up and stuff. Like now you want a baddie. Like now you're with the Instagram baddie. You know, you don't want the church girl anymore. Like she looked like she was a good church girl and he was a good church guy or whatever, but he has completely changed who he is. So that can be traumatizing to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not going to judge her too harshly because I know if a woman's dealing with so much for so long, it can change everything about who she is, or she's just completely crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I pray that that's really not who she is, and that, you know, him moving on with this girl who seems to fit his new lifestyle, that will bring her some peace, because obviously that's not what she needs in her life. Like, I just pray that she really do know God and she'll come up out of this very negative cycle she's in, because I feel like this is probably the best thing for her, because that man was never going to stop cheating ever, and it's just better to let him go. He was probably happy that those pictures came out. I feel like he was probably waiting for something for her to get the hint that he wanted out of the relationship.
Yeah, and you know, I just wish that we as women specifically, we deal with our men that we have commitments to and really, really hold them to a standard of accountability. I know me and a few of my girlfriends were talking about this the other day, and we were just like, God, why do we as women, we're the first thing we do is go after the women. Although you may feel like in that moment that's a natural, maybe that's a natural thing for us, right? Is that we naturally go after the other woman, and you decide to stick beside them. After you're done beating her up, going off on her, dealing with her, then what, right? And then are you going to do that for every time he meets somebody? And like, at what point do we deal with the problem? I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, you know, you're right. I'm not playing a judgeful place. I just want us as women to get to a place, specifically women, because men, I don't feel like have the same issue, because it's a double standard, really. I mean, a lot of men, you think about it, they wouldn't deal with half the things we as women put up with or choose to put up with, right?
At all.
But I just wish that we as women collectively get to a point where we start holding the men that we have commitments to accountable in whatever way that looks like for you guys. Especially if you decide to stay.
Yeah, I feel like most importantly, you know, definitely just leave before you get to the point where you don't even recognize yourself anymore, or you're up here talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Cursing people's unborn children for what? Because your man is a hoe? That don't make no sense. That's crazy. So yeah, it's just like, stop trying to tolerate shit y'all not okay with. That's the biggest thing. Because every time, and that goes for everyone, because when I try to tolerate some shit I know I'm not okay with, I'm going to start acting outside of myself, because I'm, you know, making myself deal with some things I don't want to deal with. So yeah, just stay tapped into yourself, y'all, because whole world out here, people will choose them every single time. You got to choose you.
Choose you.
Oh, speaking of a cold world, you know, Tory Lanez got locked up the other day. Meg the Stallion got shot about 2 years ago, y'all. We covered this on our podcast damn near 2 years ago. So this has been like dragged out. Like, you would have thought this was the OJ Simpson trial, the way they had the play-by-plays, and they had, you know, people coming through with the courtroom, you know, gossip, and we had like the celebrity hairstylist, EJ, Meg celebrity hairstylist, come up in there and Meg's former best friend, Kelsey, went on the witness stand and she pled the fifth. She said she didn't remember anything. And y'all, it was just a circus. The whole shit was a circus from beginning to end. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad that, Meg has received her justice. I would say justice. I mean, we don't know his sentencing yet, so we can't really say justice because we don't know how long he's going to get. But at least he is guilty. And, she doesn't have to deal with people saying, oh, did he shoot you? Did he not shoot you? At least all that's cleared up. I think it's a lesson for everyone because just looking back on everything with the trial, at the beginning, it was so messy because the story changed so many times. And I think now looking back on everything, I see why. Like, I see why Megan decided to keep information to herself at first and why she didn't want to say Tory shot her at first. It's like she didn't want to be judged, for one, for having sex with this man publicly. She didn't want to be judged for that as a woman. I get that. Secondly, she honestly tried to protect him, and that kind of bit her in her ass. And that is a lesson for everyone. Like, don't lie trying to protect somebody and then, think there's not going to be consequences when you switch it up. Like, I know as Black women, we try to kind of protect everyone, but sometimes you just got to protect yourself. And I feel like at that very moment when the police pulled up, regardless of what could have happened, she's just like, yes, he shot me. This is what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just would have been clear from the beginning, but when you try to hide bits and pieces of things, instead of just letting everything just be as clear as what it really is, that things get messy and there's going to be a little bit of backlash. And that's why I went so back and forth. And that's why everybody was like confused. Now, I don't know what's going on now because I know there's a lot of guys, especially Black men, who are saying like free Tory and they hate Megan because of the verdict. And I don't really understand that because it's like everything has been played out. So even if you had any questions, like I had questions too, but now that everything has been played out, it's kind of like, okay, everything makes sense why it played out this way. But at the end of the day, her foot was injured. She didn't do it. Whoever did it got to pay for it. That's at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if she was in another fight. It doesn't matter if she started the fight. None of that really matters. She didn't pull out a gun. So at the end of the day, you got to deal with the consequences of that. So.
Yep, I agree. I was trying to pull up his actual charges, which are carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle, the discharge of the firearm with gross negligence, and assault with a semi-automatic. Like the 27th apparently is when he's supposed to be sentenced. Mm-hmm. Regardless of how people and where they have an opinion about did he shoot, did he not, these charges are really outside of even the actual shooting of her. These are like just him having the gun, you know what I mean? And it being a reckless endangerment of having it actually going off. And, and this is what happens if you have it and you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Things just get real sticky.
It's the consequences, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, at the end of the day, do I think he wanted to shoot Megan? No. Do I think he was trying to hurt her? No, I don't. Even the whole story, it's clear as day he wasn't. That's why there's not like an attempted murder charge or nothing, because
for sure
it's clear. But at the end of the day, you decided because you were I was gonna say it's little man syndrome. I don't care, because a lot of these little guys just really be going off on women when they don't feel like they're being respected. Men need to be held accountable for how they react emotionally, because women, we have to deal with a lot emotionally all the fucking time. And it seems like the slightest thing can tip a man off, and emotionally they go over the edge. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like violence or something like that. And it's like, y'all have to be held accountable for this. So in a way, I feel like it's an example. It's an example. Y'all can't just go around shooting or slapping bitches or whatever. Like we got Javante Davis, his situation with his baby mom, apparently, allegedly, he just beat her up or something. Like, y'all have to control your emotions, and there's consequences when you don't.
Here's my issue with this whole case. Regardless of where I fall with the right or wrong, or how the opinions, because I'm just so confused on why there are so many opinions when we're dealing with a woman who got shot. Black, white, it's black or white. Somebody shot her. it wasn't her that shot herself. So it's either you or you. On accident, not on purpose. Regardless of how the specifics, she got shot. And people are so upset with her, not all, but there are people who are so upset that she was the one that got shot. Now, again, they have their opinions.
It's as simple as
what I'm saying is that
she got shot.
Well, I'm saying she was
I don't think
injured.
that's why they were but I don't think they're upset that you're saying they're upset that she was the victim or something. I don't think it's that, because I think at first, people were very sympathetic at first.
What I'm saying is people should not be mad at her regardless, because she's the victim.
Exactly. And I think at first,
it doesn't matter really, who slept, in my opinion, I'm like, it doesn't matter from what I've been reading. It doesn't matter who slept with who was upset with who. She still got shot in the foot.
She does, but when you go on a national platform and tell a completely different story than what comes out in the trial, it's just like, well, what are you trying to do? Manipulate, the minds of people? If she would have just stuck to her same story, and it just would have been the same story the whole way through, because she initially was the victim. People was like, justice for Meg and everything. People's opinions started to change when she got on whatever, Diane Sawyer, or whatever, Gayle King, and lied about the situation and tried to play on people's emotions in a way that wasn't completely honest. And that is when I feel like she got a lot more backlash. Now, I'm not saying that she isn't still the victim. She is. But if I'm going to go out there and tell somebody I got shot, I'm just going to tell the whole story of what happened. I'm not going to say, oh, I just wanted to leave and then he just shot me. I didn't mention that we had a whole brawl, a whole fight. I fucked my friend's man, so we got into a whole fight. And like, it's a whole bunch of shit she left out where it just didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when people heard the full story, it was just like, well, damn, Meg's trying to hide every single thing she did. It made it seem like it was a manipulation of emotions. That's the only thing. And I feel like part of that at first was to protect maybe Kelsey, maybe to protect Tory, maybe not even just herself, just to protect everyone's, privacy maybe. But at the end of the day, when stuff is when stuff is coming out and it's not what you initially said, and it's just like, well, damn, if you lied about that, what else did you lie about? It was just a lot of things that played out in the media that really shouldn't have. Like, I feel like if it would have just been a situation where she let her lawyers handle it, she didn't go out there, putting out different versions of stories, it wouldn't have been so much confusion in the public eye, and people just would have had a lot more genuine sympathy for her. That's what I feel like. I mean, I also do feel like being a Black woman, period, people don't have as much sympathy for anything Black women go through. So that takes a part of it as well.
I'm glad someone's being held accountable for her getting shot. And at the end of the day, she got shot. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the woman got shot. For me, my optics are, and everything you just said, because, it makes total sense. I'm just glad. I'm so sick of seeing this case about he said, she said, sleeping with, fucked him, didn't fuck him, had an attitude, didn't have, why this was drug out for 2 years.
And that would have never been an issue. If that was just common knowledge, it wouldn't have been no issue. If you just go up and be like, yeah, we was dating him, we got into a fight, he got upset, he shot me. Everyone's like, damn, he that upset because of a relationship. But when you start lying about stuff, then now people are more concerned about what you lied about, more concerned about investigating the petty shit than what really happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's just human nature. It wasn't, I don't blame her for it. I think she was scared. I think she's young. I think she doesn't have family.
Sure. It's a lesson learned for sure. Well, the damage is done. The damage has been done. And I honestly, like I said, I'm just glad someone's being held accountable now we don't, like you said earlier, we don't know what his sentencing is going to be. I think it's going to be a couple of years. I don't know how long. I don't know, but I do feel like it is going to be a couple of years, at least maybe 2 to 3. First, I just feel like around there. Maybe
they said they was going to deport him to Canada.
Is that where he's from?
Yeah, he's from Canada. He's a Canadian.
Okay. So, play silly games, win silly prizes. It just is really unfortunate. It's unfortunate on all ends. It's unfortunate on his end because a lot of people obviously really love him. I did not know this man before any of this. Probably, you remember? Because I was like, who I used to call him Lanez.
You knew him
like
when
Lanez.
I started sending you the quarantine radio. You was like, oh, the quarantine, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I know, and so it's unfortunate for him and his fans, his family, his father, his daddy. Okay.
This man had a whole like spectacle in court. Like his dad started cussing everybody out. I think his son like passed out and started crying. Like it was bad.
It was a whole thing. And then I also feel really bad for Megan. She's lost a lot of money. She's lost some credibility. She's lost, her mom. She's had to endure this nightmare of a situation that happened to her, which is just so fucked up. It's really, really messed up on all ends. Nobody, I feel like, wins in this situation. And it just is what it is. I'm just glad I don't have to hear about the particulars anymore. It's going to be more so the sentencing, and then now we can hopefully put some of this behind us. But I just want to move on to something else, because I feel like this has just, for the life of me, like you said, people are more upset about the particulars of things that really shouldn't matter as much. And I feel like that's what's just been, for me, a pain point, because I've seen it time and time again. Can we please just get a verdict so everybody can enjoy their New Year's or their Christmas? Because we're all tired. We're tired. Wrap it. Like, y'all got 27 hours to wrap this shit up before we're done. So,
yeah.
But
yeah. I do want to say, though, just as a little sidebar of this whole situation, I'm out here in LA where the court cases were going on. And so a lot of the Black blogs were sending their media to the courthouse. And apparently it didn't go well with like the white media in the courthouse. So a lot of the Black bloggers are reporting that like when they were at the Meg and Tory trial, there's a section for the media where the bailiff will come and give information like to the media so they can have that information first and get it out. So they said it was basically some segregation shit going on out there, that they were so upset that Black media came in such a large amount to report on this case that they separated Black media from white media. And the bailiffs were basically giving information and stuff to the white media journalists and then not telling the Black media journalists. So then they'd have to go up there and kind of get secondhand information from the white journalists. And they all had media passes. Like, so they're all supposed to be, treated equally. But girl, they were very upset that Black media had came out, because at first, it was being very underreported, this case, until they saw how much it was going viral on social media. So they started sending, their white newscasters out. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't shock me.
No.
But that is
like, it's 2022 and they still segregating people in the courthouse. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yep. Crazy.
Oh man. But I did want to touch on Caresha, Diddy girl, and Diddy. I love her. I love her. Like, I just like her because she's authentically just her. Like, I liked her, Caresha, Young Miami, and it's just been more and more about her. And then now she's partnered with Diddy everywhere. And then Caresha Please came out. He's the first guest. He kind of sets it up. Yes, it's on his, platform, Revolt, but he really gave us some stuff to chew on. We've been following Caresha and Diddy even more, and I feel like we've just partnered them together as a relationship until we're reminded in the news that Diddy is now a father of a newborn within like 2 weeks ago. I don't even want to say it was that long ago. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. He came out and said he had a baby. Welcome. And this comes off of his birthday party that he threw, and she gave him this iced out chain. He was really like, this girl, I've never had a woman give me nothing like this. This my baby right here. He was on one knee begging her and just, just all about Caresha. Baby news came out and everybody's kind of like, Caresha, you got 2 minutes to respond, bitch. The people need answers. Caresha, please. We need answers, okay? And so with that, I'm like, okay, did she know? Based on from what I see and the type of relationship that they do have, I would think that she would know. I in my mind, because of how transparent and how like I feel like what we liked about them was like, damn, yeah, this is my shorty wop. She cool. We whatever she want to do. She's like, yes, whatever he want to do, but shit, we ain't together, but he know we together real bad. So I would like to think that she did know. But then there were reports that were like, no, she didn't. She was even putting out subliminal tweets about as if maybe she kind of didn't or she did. So I don't know. Both of them are too rich for me to even really kind of have an opinion one way or the other. You know what I mean? But it is interesting because I feel like so many people were in an uproar about it because we or they have pit them together in a relationship. And we have to constantly remind ourselves at the end of the day, he is not in a relationship. And she's made that very clear in interviews, and he has too. As cute and as like crazy as they want to make it seem like they are about each other, nobody's in a relationship. So yes, he can do whatever he wants to do. I guess the biggest thing would be like, did she really know? Or didn't she?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, because she went back and forth with DJ Academics after the announcement because he made some statements and then she addressed them. And from what I've read from her tweets, it seemed like she didn't know because her last tweet was like, damn, can you let me react how I want or something like that? Which to me, if you say react, that means that's implying you didn't know like everybody else, so you're just reacting. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like as much as she probably wanted it to be I would say an agreement that they may have had, maybe she wanted to be okay with that agreement. Maybe I feel like to me as a woman, I can tell she's probably not okay with it. So it's things like maybe she even knew about the baby. Maybe she was okay about the baby until the baby became a real thing, like a real baby. So it seems just like, I don't know, a lot of her tweets and stuff, she posted some like memes and, some little subliminals. It did seem like she was a little bit emotional. I don't know. I wouldn't post those things if my side man just had a baby. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like you're talking about that. So
I agree with that. And I also, to piggyback off what you're saying, sometimes I feel like if she did know, she might have been okay with it or been okay in her mind until it came out. And now everybody's reacting for her to the point where it's like, damn. Like, I guess
that's what I'm saying.
So now I do care. Whereas in private, it was more like, this is a situation. If I was fucked up, like you like,
maybe you thought it was some shit you could handle, but then now
maybe
it's like,
you thought behind closed, but then you quickly forget he is a celebrity. You're a celebrity. You don't have normal lives. Once this does get out, everybody's going to be looking at you like, damn, girl, you was the sucker, or you're a sucker for da da da. Like whatever people's opinions and they project on you to the point where now you're like, I'm not okay anymore.
Yeah, she could have just had way more feelings than what she thought she was going to have in the situation. And that happens every day. And you're dealing with
that happens to us regular people every day where we feel like, okay, well, didn't you and him have a conversation about it? Yeah, we had a conversation about it. I was cool, but today I changed my fucking mind. You know what I mean?
Exactly. She's a woman and he is twice her age. So
correct.
That can be,
it still is what it is.
She may feel a certain type of way about that, just insecure
and then
about.
You go from, and I don't know what it's like to go from where everybody's praising you for being in this relationship, city girls up, Caresha got him on check, got him on lock, to girl, you the stupid one, you dummy, he had a whole baby on you that you didn't even know about, girl, you did it. Like that probably went from her up here down here, and people can say their opinion, people's opinions don't mean anything, but come on, you know what I mean? So who knows? But he is Diddy, and
hey,
it is what it is.
Exactly. That is her choice. You know what I'm saying? She want to deal with that.
Choice. And his choice.
And his choice.
It is what it is. Lori Harvey, her situation where she makes men sign prenups, or not prenups, NDAs. NDAs. Whoa.
I'm so upset she's with my man.
Girl.
Franklin. She's with Franklin.
He's
I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
So fun. listen, and I'm
He
like,
could
you know
have
what?
Michael B. Jordan, but Franklin,
Yeah.
like, no, that's what's his name, Damson.
Just make sure you treat him good, girl. Just make sure you treat him good. Don't do him wrong, baby. Please don't do him no kind of way.
They are Damson, Idris, and Lori Harvey. So, yeah. And he's not even American. So, he may put a ring on that.
Yeah, she had a ring with the soccer guy. Depay, something Depay. He was fine. But she was so young then. I mean, that was like her first real relationship. And she was engaged at like 20.
Girl, that girl has had some life experiences. You hear what I mean? Like, girl. Oh, wow. Yes. But we're going to keep our eye out, that Baywatch out for Lori and Damson, and also see how Diddy and Caresha hold up. Speaking of babies, though, I just want to quickly touch on Nick Cannon, because as we know, I think he just had his 13th or 12th baby, or 11th, or I want to say 11th.
We're in the double digits for sure.
It's 11th, 12th, or 13th. I want to say
11, 12, or 13. You know, they all run together after 7.
Let me just make sure. Yeah, on December 4th. Oh, December 14th. Okay, excuse me. He had his baby number 12. 12th baby. So,
well, he just had one today.
Oh, he had another one today?
Yeah, it was posted.
He had one on the
14th, I might be looking at the wrong thing.
No, it's Alyssa Scott. They had their last baby.
Oh, okay. They had it. I didn't read the. Okay, I got you.
He doesn't have any more scheduled, I don't think, this year. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Yeah. But this is actually the couple who lost their baby. This is the baby mother where they lost their 5-month-old like last year. You know, God bless them. I'm glad they have this baby. But Nick Cannon did make some comments, you know, about how it's been very difficult with these children that he has in different households, visiting them all over the holiday season. So he said he felt like he was Santa Claus because he had to go to different houses to visit all of his kids. So I thought that was interesting. I'm wondering now, the baby mama's not cool, because can't you just bring them all together? I don't know.
Here's what I have an issue. And I don't have an issue. I don't want to say I have an issue. It's not my situation. But on one hand, I'm like, okay, cool, right? Like, he acknowledges what we've already all been thinking. Like, it's, you know, does he realize how hard it's going to be to spread his one self amongst, you know, divvying up time for, you know. So on one hand, he acknowledged that, okay, he does understand that it is challenging in his situation to solve something that money alone doesn't cover, right? But on the other end, I'm like, if you know that, why do you keep having more kids?
The big question. Like,
so if you have acknowledged that, because it's one thing for you to be like, no, I can make sure I'm good. I can. It's not hard. It may be, you know, challenging, but it's not hard. I'm gonna make it happen. Then we could be like, okay, this man really thinks he could be around and spread his royal oats. But no, he's like, no, this is difficult. Like, I'm sad about it. I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. But then yet you keep doing it.
Yeah. I think he has to have some sort of, like, I don't know. There has to be a reason, you know? There's some sort of underlying thing I think he's trying to hit. Like, I don't know. He wants to just spread his seed, or maybe he's just like trying to fulfill some sort of need.
His battling lupus, and him, you know, people deal with things in different ways all the time. So whether we may never know why he's doing it. But
well, you know, back in the day, people had a lot of kids. My grandmother, she had like 7. I remember not too long ago, Kiki Wyatt, you know, she has like 9 or 10 kids also. She had said in an interview, she said, well, I always feel like after my last baby is out of diapers, I feel like I need another baby. She's like, because I just feel like I need, you know, that baby to need me, to want me, to like need me to live. And she's like, I just get that urge. I'm just like, that is crazy. So it's like, to me, it has to be like a reason when you have like a lot of kids like that.
Yeah.
You never know, but I thought that was interesting.
More power to him and his village.
And Kiki Kiki Wyatt said she wants one more. So I think she's like 40 or 39. I think she said she wants one more. She just had her 10th or 9th. So she just got remarried. I think she's on like her 3rd or 4th husband, girl. So
Wow.
Kiki know the sauce, okay?
More power to her and her uterus. Literally. Wow. My uterus is somewhere on the freeway, probably getting ran over by now listening to all this, because I'm just like, ain't no way I can have 25 million kids. Lord Jesus. But you know, kids are a blessing. Wish them all well. More to come. Do you think he's done, or do you think he's got more coming?
Who, Nick?
Nick.
He seemed like he's not done.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Because he did come out a while ago and say he was done, but he keeps having more kids.
Yeah, so. I don't even think she's 40. Is he 40 yet? I don't think he's like 40 yet.
I think he's 40. Let me see. Yeah, I think he's 40.
You know, Janae Aiko's dad just had a baby and he's 78.
Girl, he's 42.
Yeah, so he got a long way to go. He can still have some kids.
Mm-hmm. Woo!
Yep.
All right.
Pushing them out.
In other news, Brittany Renner, she has since came out and said to the public, actually, I'm really shocked about this because I've always kind of liked her. I've liked her. Brittany Renner, she's like an influencer. Oh, yeah. She started out as like a workout girl. And then she moved into, and I really don't even remember when she moved into this whole like image of like sleeping around with all these celebrities or whatever. Cause I used to follow her for just her working out before she even got bit. Yeah. Cause I was just like, guru. She was like a fitness guru. She just took pride in fitness. She almost looked like the girl next door. She just had a good body and she showed it off like a lot of these girls do. But she never was. And then somehow it changed to Brittany Renner, the girl who sleeps around with everybody. And I was like, the girl the little old thing that had a nice little body, but she like kind of quiet, you know. So it ended up taking a turn. Brittany Renner, she has since been linked to several celebrities for obvious reasons of money, power, fame, all these things that it's no shock because she's owned this.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we've moved forward, to present day, she has since had a baby with a famous, I think he's a basketball player, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I think some basketball
player. It's a pretty tumultuous relationship. They don't get along, apparently. Lots of back and forth, lots of speculation. And I think she's even come out and even said she had a baby and trapped him or whatever. I want to say that. But anyways, she has since come out in present day, like a couple days ago, to social media, and she has said that she feels as though her list of sexual partners is repulsive. She's basically saying to the world that she had a very open, honest, candid interview, and she basically expressed that she never understood her self-worth, and a lot of the decisions that she has since made based on her not knowing her self-worth has crippled her in lots of ways that now when she thinks about it, she's disgusted with herself. You know, and I quote, this is off her caption on her page. She said, "I no longer live in the shackles of shame. I am at peace with the decisions I have made and accept whatever comes behind them. Living in your truth is the ultimate freedom." And even in this like clip of a video, she just basically was like, I mean, people can not believe me or whatever. They can feel sorry for me or not, whatever. That's not what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this because, or I feel this way, and I've made the conscious decision to step into this new person because I do know and I recognize my self-worth. I don't care how long it's taken me to get here. I now know it, and I'm disgusted with my past. And I think that she's trying to essentially reach other young women who may be making those same decisions. May not be on that level where you're sleeping around with celebrities. It may not even be you're sleeping around with 20, 50, 30, 40 dudes. It could just mean you're making certain decisions because you haven't realized I deserve better than this. You know what I mean? Yep. And I think we all can identify to certain situations or similarities when it comes to not necessarily knowing your value where you can look back and say, I didn't make the best decision in that particular situation. So I
think that's real.
It was so real that you almost really just had to look at your own self and be like, you know what? We talk about people being accountable for a lot of things. And it's almost kind of like damned if you're accountable and damned if you're not. People are going to have an opinion either way. But it was really eye-opening about her speaking out, because she's known as like this voice of like, I don't care, like I own my shit. But one of the things I will say, she's always owned her shit. Even when she was sleeping around with dudes, she owned her shit.
I've always liked her. Like, I don't know her, but when I've seen her a lot of times combating with men on certain topics. Like, she's gone viral a few times, just kind of like standing up for like women in certain ways, where any other girl would kind of feel embarrassed, because I've seen her step on guys' platforms and they try to like shame her. Try to shame her, and she did not let them shame her. And I'm like, that girl is strong as hell. Like, I like that, because like, no matter if, you know, nobody can ever make you feel a certain way about your shit if you own your shit. And so I like that about her.
And I love that about her too, because I am very much a person who is self-accountable. I've always been the type of individual where I don't like for people to look at me as a victim or have that victim mindset. And so even though I might not have ever made, or I might not have always made the best decisions in certain situations, I own my shit. You know what I mean? And it's hard for me to be around people who don't. Because I feel like, what is the point in doing that? If you're gonna do it, go into it knowing that this is what I'm doing and just be okay with it until you don't want to do it anymore. But don't try to victimize yourself to accept things, or to let that be your reason for why you're where you are. No one's gonna feel sorry in this world. I mean, especially when you get to
and if they do feel sorry for you, they're gonna feel sorry about you for you and then talk about you.
Exactly. I'm just saying, like, opinions literally are just that. You know what I mean? And if you allow them to hold any other weight, more weight than what you hold of yourself, that is where I feel like you get in very dangerous situations. But I say all that to say, I love people who are very self-accountable, whether they're on this end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum, because at the end of the day, it's like, oh, they know who they are. They know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So it's just,
I'm interested to see what she does. I hope she gets like a podcast or something. Or
she should.
I don't know.
I think people listen to her. I think a lot of people would listen to her. She's got a good following already, and you know, again, however you feel about her on either end of the spectrum, you can't say that she doesn't own her shit.
I saw her in a commercial for like, what is it, like a chicken commercial?
A Crystal commercial, side chicks.
I said, that girl don't give a damn.
You getting that check, honey?
Like, yeah, call me a side chick, and I'm in this damn Crystal commercial advertising this chicken sandwich.
Advertising this sandwich that you're gonna go out and buy. Okay, so
I loved it.
I loved it too. More power to her.
More power to her. Yeah, we just want to mention, because we have not been on here for a while, so there's been a lot of current events that have gone viral that we just haven't had a chance to speak on. We did want to touch base on the Shanquella Robinson case that, you know, has taken the nation by storm. Everyone has heard of Shanquella Robinson. She's 25 years old. She was traveling with a group of her so-called friends to Mexico, and unfortunately, she never came back. Her friend said she had alcohol poisoning, but after the autopsy and other evidence came out, we found out that it was more like foul play. And I think her neck was internally broken, and there was a video that had surfaced of one of the girls fighting her. I would say attacking her, because Shanquilla was not fighting the girl back.
Sure.
They attacked her naked, and you could hear some of the other people in the background saying, "Shanquilla, are you going to fight back at least? At least fight her back." And Shanquilla said no. And then the girl would just hit her, beat her up. So Unfortunately, we don't know the details because the people that have come back from Cabo that were with Shanquilla, they have literally gone MIA. And one or two people have made like some public statements like a few months ago, but they've gone MIA since. I think Mexico has issued like some arrest warrants for at least one person. So we're still waiting as Americans to hear how that's going to work since this whole case happened overseas. We don't know how that's going to play out in Mexico, all right? But what I do know is that nobody wants to go to jail in Mexico, okay? So that's just crazy how this situation played out. And it really hits home for me because I'm a traveler and I done been on so many girls trips and it's been so much shit that went down at these girls trips, drama and people having attitudes and people wanting to leave early. And I just gotta thank God that it never got to that for me and that I always made it home safely. But I can totally see how something like this could play out and how it could go left like this, especially dealing with a group of girls. And it's very, very easy for girls to switch on one another. Yeah, I've seen girls just switch like this, and then now it's a group of girls ganging up on one girl. All it takes is, one little, whisper in somebody's ear about, girl, she said so and so about you. That all it takes is that for somebody to switch up on you. And it's sad that it can be done on vacation when you're vulnerable, you're in a different
around the people you're supposed to be safe with.
Yeah, you're thinking that these people will ride or die for you if anything goes wrong, and then these people bring harm to you in a different country. So, as sad as this case is, and I hate to even look at stuff like this, I have to look at it and analyze it and let it sit in my spirit because, like, I don't want to go forward and not take heed to what is happening out here, because if it can happen to Shanquilla, it can happen to us, So just be careful, like, who you're traveling with, who you call your friends. Like, even if you've had any gut feelings that people really don't have your best interest, you got to go with those feelings because you don't want to ever risk being in a dangerous situation with somebody who really couldn't care less about you. And I know it happened to me. I'm not going to name no names, but I went to Coachella one year with somebody who I considered a friend that I had known for at least a decade. We went to high school together. I'm like, okay, I know her. But when I had got around her and her other friends, I didn't know her other friends, and she kind of changed her personality. So I ended up being like left at a venue. I had to ride the shuttle back by myself to the house. It was like 45 minutes back to the house. And, I had got there, I came there with 7 girls. So the girl I knew basically had left me. So it's just like, luckily I didn't, die, nothing crazy happened to me, but it's just like anything could have happened to me. And it goes to show that you really have to be careful with people you're traveling with. It's sad.
I literally struggle to find words for this case situation for so many reasons.
Yeah.
I feel like we as a society now more than ever praise the violent culture of things. People don't talk anymore. People don't even really fight anymore. To fight. Like, it's more like, I want to kill you. Do you know what I mean? Like, we used to, come on, growing up, you witnessed around the fight. You bop, 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 girl, weave out. You know what I mean? Bop, bop. Don't talk shit.
It's not like that anymore.
It's not like that anymore. It is literally, I'm fighting to, like, you're not going to make it home. And it's not even over really anything about anything. So and I say that to say, regardless of you putting your hands on people and whether you feel that's right or wrong or indifferent, what I'm just saying is it's just gotten to a place where people just don't value human life anymore. People don't value family life, friendships. Like, we all have our cliques. We have the people we click with. But there are so many times, I feel like, where you have to really, like you said, Whitney, take inventory of even those people that are around you. If you notice some weird vibes, don't just be like, oh, well, I noticed it. It was weird, but, that's just her or that's just him.
Yeah. Every time I do that, it bites me in my ass. Every single
circles back
time.
and bites you in the ass. And again, I get it. We all have our disagreements. We may have an argument with your friend. You may have some disagreements. But it's when it gets that, and I always use this word weird, but when it starts to get weird in that weird space, which could be jealousy, it could be, you know, damn, this person, I'm noticing you're only around me when I got shit fucked up. But when all this good stuff is happening that I've been like trying to bust my ass for, you're nowhere for me to be, you know, to be able to share it. You know, you just those weird vibes. In another way you could look at being weird. Another way you can look at being weird is character. Stuff that's character flawed. Not that we had a disagreement about, girl, you stepped on my shoe and you didn't say excuse me. We're not talking about surface level, or we're not even talking about, I don't like the way that you really talked to me the other day, or you kind of didn't consider my feelings when you went and did. Those things that's not character. That's more so like, I felt some type of way when you did that, friend. Can you not do that no more? I'm talking about things that are like, you feel sometimes you really don't like me.
Yeah.
I mean, you're around me. It's like you're around me, but you don't really
like me. And you know what stood out to me? Because I watched a lot of the videos and footage that got leaked from Shanquilla's case so far. And one of the videos, I think it was of the night before, she died. She was walking around the mansion, the villa, and she, I guess, was ready to get into the pool. So she's like, "Where's everybody at? Where's everybody at? It's time to get naked. It's time to get in the pool. Where y'all at?" And crickets, quiet as fuck. On vacation in Mexico, night one, in a mansion. So first of all, so why are everybody so quiet? And so she all yelling, "Where y'all at? Where y'all at?" They don't say anything until she walks into the room. She gets into the room. She sees everyone in the room. They just stand around looking like, we just trying to figure out what we're gonna wear. Like, energy down. Didn't answer her energy up. She's like, "Hey y'all, where y'all at?" And she finally finds them in the room. They ostracize themselves. You know what I'm saying? They done all secluded themselves. They quiet, plotting. You know what I'm saying? Talking shit probably. And it reminds me, because it's like one of the first signs that people really don't fuck with you is when they get a chance, any chance they can to exclude you, they're gonna do it. Any chance they can to make you feel like an outsider, they're gonna do it. And that it don't matter how small it is. It could be like, "Oh, why y'all sitting over that side of the table? I'm on this side." Pay attention, because it's little shit like that. When people don't want you to feel included, it's a reason for it.
For sure. So take. I'd say my biggest advice is just to take inventory of your circle, especially as we go into this new year. It's something about people like to joke about New Year's resolutions, or people cutting things out and cutting things off. It's like, "Oh, you just doing the New Year's." Yeah, I'm doing the New Year because it's something that feels good about a fresh start. Fresh starts are lit. And if you are awake and God shows you and you make it over into the new year, celebrate that new fresh start. You know what I mean? Yep. Forget what people are saying and it's an old thing and da-da-da-da. You're just doing this because it's a new year. Yeah, I am. And you didn't make it over. You didn't make it into my new year. You know what I mean? As my friend. Mm-hmm. And I would just say there's no better time than to do that. You don't owe anybody any explanation.
No.
You don't owe any, if they were weird to you, or if they've shown you things where you can look back and be like, damn. You don't always have to wait till something monumental happens. Because sometimes when it's too late, because you didn't been isolated, you didn't they didn't steal from you, they didn't took your man, they didn't did this. By then it's like, well, shit, nobody told me.
Girl, we here, okay? Me and Mia, we on some Pisces shit, okay? You can look at us. You could leave our order off of a fucking group pickup, and I'm done. I'm done with you. Like, we're not talking anymore. We're not friends anymore. Like, it's little shit.
It's really the little
things. It's little things, but it's not little because it's little things that shows your character. Because it's like, I would never do that to you. You know what I'm saying?
To a friend.
Yes.
And maybe the conversation needs to be, what is a friend? What is your definition of a friend?
Mm-hmm.
And start from there. And then list out everyone who you call your friend. Because I think we're so quick to be like, oh, girl, that's my homegirl. That's my friend. That's my friend. Does she know she your friend? Because your friend was over here talking. Like, so that may be where you start is what does a friend mean to me? And then who am I calling in my circle of my friends?
Yeah. And take inventory of, you know, I hate for it to be this way sometimes, but take inventory of the levels at your, you know, who's in your circle, what level are you at and what level are they at? Because from what I have read about this case and also been researching, Shanquilla was financially a lot more well off than the people she was traveling with. She booked that resort in her name on her credit card fully. It was like $3,000 a night. So that's like $10,000 right there, all in her name. Not saying they didn't give her money back on the back end, but that's still she's taking initiative, basically saying, I have it, I can cover the cost plus incidentals. You know what I'm saying? So
it's her birthday.
That right there is like she's traveling with people.
Birthday. Come on.
No, it wasn't her birthday. It was one of the people's birthdays she was traveling with.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, so that makes it even worse. Like she was being a good friend, like booking it on her shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and they said she was very successful. She had like, I went on her business page. She had a business page with like 50,000 followers. She was a braider for kids' braids, and you know, braiders make a lot of money.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, she started her own business.
Looked like she was very well, based on some of the photos that I saw, like, you know, social media stuff, like she looked very like packaged, like very nice, you know, present, like, you know, marketing. Like she just looked like I would probably reach out to her for my braids or whatever, you know?
Exactly. And I just can't, it just makes me feel like, you know, jealousy. You just can't, sometimes as much as you want to like hang with everybody and help bring people up, it's just like everybody really just can't though. And you really have to sometimes cut people off that are not on your level, or just even, it don't have to be financial level. It could just be mentality. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the same ambition. They don't have the same spirit. You know what I'm saying? It's just, sometimes you got to see who's on your level and who's not. And it don't mean that you don't wish them well, but they just can't rock with you.
And stop telling everybody what you got going on. Because people will want to,
haters.
Listen, they will poo-poo on your shit so quick. Or they just want to know like what you got going on, you just want to make sure if it's important, if it's anything that's important to you, keep it very close to you until you recognize, especially if you've been seeing some behaviors that have made you kind of be like, okay, that's weird. Definitely don't share the things that are important to you with those people. You know what I mean? Hold it until it's already happened, because that's one of the things, like you said, you know, just not everybody's happy for you. Not everybody who watches you. Not everybody who watches you, family included too. Family's not excluded from this conversation at all.
Never. No.
So, you know, just but it's unfortunate. Prayers to her. I pray that they get some justice around this, because I heard
so too, man.
that there was like, when they interviewed everybody had a different version of the story, which I think is weird.
Girl, everyone had a different version of the story, and these people were so cold freaking hearted that they went back to this girl's mama's house and set up in her mama's house for 3 days lying to this lady until the autopsy report dropped, and then they never came back because they thought that they was going to get away with lying, saying that she drunk herself to death. Like Mexico ain't got no damn medical people to verify that. Like, girl. So we'll see how this all plays out.
We follow and hope to see justice on. We will be reporting on this on our page, amongst other things like this.
Let me ask you this, Mia, before we move off of this. How do you feel about everyone that was there? Do you feel like everyone that was there should be held responsible in some way, or do you feel like just the girl that hit her?
No, I feel like everybody should be held accountable in some way. And here's why. The fact that it took all the amount of time that it took to even get to the bottom of this, when there were several people. Let's start with the cameraman. Or the people that were, let's just start
recording.
There. We don't even got to go anywhere else. Let's start with the person that was like, oh, girl, like, let me get this on film. But then you all
let me
have
get you naked, getting beat up. Yeah.
Then you have the nerve in your group to go back and say that there was food poisoning. The girl died of alcohol poisoning. I mean, it's so wrong on on every possible level. I would want each of those people held accountable to the furthest extent based on the level of which they were involved. So do I think that the person who actually whooped her ass should be held at the same level as the person recording? Maybe not. But if there is a charge for you recording it and being an accomplice and not saying anything and telling the truth, whatever that extent is, you need to be held accountable for that too. Because this case needs to be a firm, case, they need to make an example out of this case.
Yeah, I know.
Specifically because this was something that I can see happening again and again. And this is just one of the ones that, we've shed light on. There's probably stuff like this all the time, crazy stuff. You know what I mean? That doesn't even get this attention. But people need to know you cannot just do stuff like this.
And thought you was really gonna get away with that shit. Like,
I thought you were gonna get away with it. The fact that you guys are hiding from the media, you don't want to say anything to the media. You didn't want to, like, if I was in that situation and I was an accomplice, I'm the first one telling. I'm gonna be like, look,
I'm telling.
This is what happened. This is what happened.
Yep.
This is where things got messed up. Like,
here's where I can give them grace. Okay, say there was one person there who really, honestly, genuinely didn't have nothing to do with it. Maybe they wasn't even in there when Shanquilla got beat up. Maybe they was asleep when Shanquilla got beat up. Okay, how about that? Say maybe they don't. I can understand you being scared to the point of, okay, if they come in here and think that we did something to her, they're gonna think everyone did something to her and we're all never leaving Mexico. And I'm like, but I didn't do it. I was asleep. Y'all niggas did it. You know what I'm saying? So I can even give you the grace to say you needed to get out of Mexico. All right. But if you had nothing to do with that situation and you knew what happened there was wrong, as soon as you touched down on American soil, you should have been at the police station, the embassy, I'm calling everybody, the news, everybody, because I'm snitching on y'all to know I had nothing to do with this. Only reason I went along with that shit because I didn't want to get trapped in Mexico because of what y'all did. You know what I'm saying? That could be the only logical reason I could see why they may have lied to the people in Mexico. But once you get back on American soil, you're kind of safe and protected in that, right? Where you could have told the truth then. You know what I'm saying? So it's been almost 2 months now and no one has come forward with the truth. So in my mind, all of y'all are guilty and all of y'all had a part in it.
Right. I agree with that. Yep. That would be a possibility for sure. For sure.
Girl.
But they can all go to hell.
They better hope somebody don't get to them because this is some shit where street justice would really, you know what I'm saying? People kill over stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be playing with people's family members like this.
Especially when you do it in that regard. Like, that's what I'm saying. People are just such punks now. They wait to do all these different types of things. Like, if back in the day, you had a problem with somebody, you come to them, you step to them. It wasn't no hush hush. It wasn't no ulterior motive. It was like, nah, nigga, this is what you did. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, but y'all wait till the girl's probably intoxicated. You probably drugged her or whatever the case may be. She looked loopy. She looked like she didn't know what was going on. Like, y'all did her naked. So dirty to the point where y'all knew what y'all were doing.
You guys, there's no way.
Which is why there was intent. There was clear. I mean, it's all just so messed up. But
I just could never sit by and watch someone get attacked like that. Like, that girl was not fighting back. If somebody's not fighting back, that's not a fight. You're attacking them. You're bullying them. You know what I'm saying? You're a big aggressor. Anyone in that room should have broken that fight up and got that girl off of her.
Somebody should have broken it up, called the reception people. They could have done so many things other than sit there and record and watch. There were you can't tell me that there was not something somebody could have done. I don't care what it was.
Yeah.
Y'all just gonna wait till her ass got beat up, whooped for y'all to then what?
Yeah. And it's just like, why would y'all, like, how miserable are you to want to fucking have a fist fight on the first day in Mexico, bitch, on a $3,000 mansion?
Y'all,
Like,
I feel like, to be honest with you, they probably was plotting before they even went to Mexico, to be honest with you.
Gotta be. That's what a lot of people have been saying. Like, this could have been so premeditated where they kind of had it. We're like, let's get her drunk the first night, y'all, and then let's get it.
Ass.
Yeah. Because there was some other video that circulated of the first night Shanquilla presumably sleep in one of the loungers outside by the pool, and her friend walks up to her recording her. It's like, uh-oh, look like we got our first dead body. That's what he said. And this was before she was, you know, deceased or whatever. This is like she's sleeping. We could see she was sleeping and moving around, but he literally out his mouth said, look like we got our first dead body. So when I tell you it was some evil going on up there, girl, yeah, believe people when they tell you who they are, y'all. Believe them. But God bless Shanquilla. We will be following this case.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna be following this case until we see justice, and more cases like this, or just cases in general. So if you all have or know about some injustice that's been happening that, you know, you want media to shed more light on, we would love to be able to cover it and shed light on it or whatever. Send it to our DM or tag us in it, whatever. We're trying to, you know, shed as much light on stuff like this as possible. Because people don't care about Black media like that, you know.
No.
Unfortunately, some of them do, but, you know, for the most part, in comparison to white media. But
yep. So like Mia said, if y'all have anything y'all want to like get on our platform to speak about, you can reach out to us at MELANIN ME Podcast on Instagram. You can also email us at melaninmepodcast@gmail.com. So we're going to be taking on some guests and stuff coming into the new year. That's one of our resolutions for our show. So we're going to get live face-to-face with some of y'all. So we really want to hear your stories.
I wanted to just say before we move on, rest in peace, because there's been several people that have died in our culture. You know, I wanted to just take a minute, take a beat, take maybe 30 seconds and give them a moment of silence. But that would be PNB Rock, Takeoff, Twitch, anyone else I'm leaving off. You know, let's just have a moment, maybe 15 seconds of just silence for them.
I wanted to end our show off because this is our last show of the year.
Yes.
Basically the first and the last, because we didn't record all year. But let's end off our show with, I want to talk about what was our high of this year and what are we looking forward to our high of next year being.
You go first.
I can start. Sure, I'll start.
You go first.
My high of the year was absolutely going to Maldives with you for our 35th birthday. It was amazing. It was like a trip of a lifetime, and I just feel so blessed and grateful that I got to spend it with you, you know, somebody I consider to be my sister. And, you know, we did it on our own. Like, I'm just so proud of us. You know, we didn't get flued out by no man, okay? We really did that lavish trip on our own. I'm just really proud of it, and I'm happy we did it together. And next year, I'm definitely looking forward to expanding, like, all my entrepreneurial things that I have going on. Just trying to stretch my limits, my talents, work on like some of my talents and stuff.
Oh, I literally am like tearing up because I was so and so honestly, that was gonna be one of mine. I'd say just me being proud of me taking a leap of faith in the real estate space in general, but then also hitting one of my highest years in selling, which would be, this would make my second year. Well, yeah, kind of almost second year in real estate, which then pushes me to the next phase for 2023 in the investment space. But me and Whitney have some amazing things going on for 2023. So more to come on that and all of the things that we have in store. But more importantly, to your point, there's nobody in this world, okay, that I would rather do any business deal with from a friend, sister, family space than you. And, you know, you all have to understand this girl here is one of the most loyal people. We have had disagreements. We have almost gotten into it back in our college days. We have gone through things where, you know, I think are pretty normal when you have a friendship and when you have someone who you care about. But on the other end of it, you know what? That's my sis. That's my family. That's my girl. And I'm just thankful that she's had grace to extend an olive branch to me to be in her space and to be a friend in all of the things that I know that she's been to me. And we're locked in forever now.
I know. Can you believe we've almost been friends for almost 20 years?
I know. It's nuts. It's crazy.
We met when we were 17. Time flies. It's so crazy.
Time flies. But I know one thing. It's good to look back and be like, you're still there.
God's good. God is good, y'all.
God is good.
Feels so much better. I'm so glad we got to come on here and show our faces, let y'all hear our voices, and hopefully you guys haven't forgotten about us and you'll stay with us into the new year.
Stay with us into the new year. We got some really great things coming. We have some really, really awesome things coming, and I can't wait to actually get them out to you guys. But we will be diligently working between now and the first of the year, rolling all these things out. So stay tuned.
Until next time, y'all, make sure to follow us on all of our platforms at MELANIN ME Podcast. Talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.